First of all, let's get this straight. We are not including keep your head down within this video. It should be clear by now that you don't have to keep your head locked in position. So let's get that disclaimer out of the way and continue with the rest of the myths. So welcome down to the Swing Quest channel, and let's have a look at why you might not be improving at golf with these 5 common misconceptions. So first up, that you need to create lag in the golf swing. There has been a resurgence in this lately about people trying to create this lag angle. Now what lag means is that as you look from this angle face on, as the club comes into the downswing, we're creating loads of angle between the wrists and the club shaft, and we're holding on to this for as long as possible into where we strike the ball. This apparently creates speed and allows a really fizzing strike. This is something that people talk about because it's easy to spot from this kind of angle, and it appears that most of the best ball strikers in the world have this kind of angle coming into impact. However, let's get 2 cameras set up, so face on, but then also down the line of the driving range. So from face on here, you can see that in the downswing, it really looks like I'm creating loads of angle here in this wrist. However, when we look at down the line, what you can actually see is all I'm doing is just shallowing the club behind me. The angle of these wrists isn't actually changing, I'm just shallowing. This angle is simply created in the backswing, and then it doesn't change during the transition phase of the swing as we move down towards the ball. What the best ball strikers do is after that little bit of a shallow, not lag, they rotate into the ball so the club doesn't get trapped behind the body. From this position, they can stay on top, compress and hit those fizzy shots. By all means, try and make sure that you get enough wrist hinge in the backswing, but it's all about the shallow and that turn. Do not worry about lag. Man, oh man, is this a classic. People say that you need to keep your feet on the ground during the golf swing. So your feet are your only point of contact with the ground during the golf swing, and they do play an important role in both power and stability. But that does not mean that they should remain static. For example, many golfers have been told during the backswing to keep that left heel, that lead heel, down on the ground. And this is something that you do see with many top professionals. However, just between you and me, most people watching this video are not tour level athletes. Actually allowing that left heel, that lead heel, to rise during the backswing allows a little bit more rotation, a little bit more freedom within the backswing. It also allows for a good trigger of the downswing. If you rotate up, allow the left heel to rise and plant it back down at the start of the downswing. And the trail foot, the right foot for a right-handed golfer, works at its most efficient as it starts to roll inwards onto the instep during the downswing before rotating and turning up to that toe as we finish the swing. There are many golfers and their lead heel actually leaves the ground at impact as power is drawn upwards from the ground. Scotty Scheffler, quite literally according to the stats, the best ball striker on tour since Tiger Woods, literally dances through the ball. You can tell I'm not Scotty Scheffler. So don't feel that you need to lock the feet out. Use them, move them, groove them. If you've heard one of these myths before, make sure you hit that like button. Next up, we have a popular drill and also a popular misconception about keeping that trail elbow locked into the side of the body during the backswing. It's slightly tricky because this drill can be used in certain circumstances to good effect, but most people have been told to lock it to the side of the body in hope of improving connection in the swing. Unfortunately, it usually leads to just a restricted backswing. The drill that most people have used or seen being used is to get a glove or a towel and pop it under the trail arm and keep it pinned to the body throughout the backswing. It's gained popularity because at the top of a backswing, most professionals have a look of having this elbow quite close and in a compact position. However, like lag, this is a misconception. What we actually want to happen is at the top of the swing, we want the right shoulder, the trail shoulder, to be sat in something called external rotation. So external rotation is the feeling that you could shrug your shoulder backwards. Internal rotation would be in here, so it's shrugging inwards towards the ball. In an external position, the elbow usually sits quite close to the body like this, but it's not essential. It can wander away. Having an elbow that moves away from the body during the backswing is not a swing killer. So rather than focusing on pinning that elbow to the side, focus on the shoulder, focus a little bit further up the body. So next up we have keeping the left arm, the lead arm, straight at the top of the backswing. Now this has slightly blurred lines because there's nothing inherently wrong with doing this, but having a softer lead arm at the top of the swing with a little bit of flex is absolutely fine as well. Oddly enough, this type of motion can actually help extend a backswing, but also add power. This is because the lead arm can act like a lever during the downswing, moving like this and adding an extra pump of power. Locking out this lead arm during the backswing can also cause tension and cause the body to lift during the backswing. So I'm not trying to promote a floppy lead arm. All I'm trying to say is that there's no imperative to keep it bolt straight. There can be some flex, it can be relaxed. There are many great golfers who've demonstrated there is absolutely no need. If you are enjoying this video and you want to become a part of the Swing Quest community, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Last up, and this may be confusing because it's something that you've heard pretty much everyone say, that you need to turn the hips during the downswing. Now, during the downswing, you need rotation in the body. But what the common misconception is, in the myth, is that from the top of the swing, you need to then rotate the hips. You need to turn them towards the target. What this will actually do is throw the swing out of sequence. As you get up to the top of the backswing, in your transition, you need to be moving your pressure onto that lead foot, so towards the target. Now at this point, the hands start to move down and the hips are still level with the ball. They only start to rotate fully as you start to approach impact. If during the downswing you just turn your hips, the arms and the club are going to get stuck behind the body, or you're just going to turn and the club is going to fire out in front of you in this manner. We need to give ourselves time in that transition to move the body and to allow the arms to fall. Then we can rotate and turn. So give yourself that time, move that pressure forwards, and then rotate as the arms begin to fall in front of the body. If you want more help with your game to continue your swing quest, please check out these coaching videos here.